Jason, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Victor, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful time you've allowed us to come together. We thank you for everybody that's involved in doing good in the city of Monte Vista and in the San Luis Valley. God, we're still asking for your mercy and your grace and for your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Anita, roll call, please.
Counselor Howard,
Here, if you can hear me.
Counselor Lorenz,
Here.
Counselor Watson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Segala,
Here.
Mayor Becker,
Here.
a quorum is declared.
Modifications to the agenda?
Yes, sir, we have 3 modifications to the agenda. We will remove F1, the swearing in of Officer Elise Volkman. We will do that at the next council meeting. We will remove staff proposals and reports. N3, Sky High report, and N6, city manager report.
So moved.
Second. Have modifications to the agenda to remove proclamation, communication appointments, and swearing in of Officer Elise Wolfman to the next meeting and removing N and staff proposals and reports. We'll remove N3 and N6. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Lorenz,
Yes.
Counselor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Segala,
Aye.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to remove F1, N3, and N6 as modifications to the agenda.
Approval of consent agenda. Minutes from regular meeting from October 2nd, 2025, and a review and approval of accounts payable.
I motion for the approval of the consent agenda minutes of regular minutes from October 2nd, 2025, and a review of approval of accounts payable.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for the minutes of regular meeting from October 2nd, 2025, and approval of accounts payable. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Howard,
Does that mean if that was a yes?
Counselor Lorenz,
Yes.
Counselor Watson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Segala,
Aye.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we will move on to citizen comments and special presentation. Citizen comments, city council welcomes your unscheduled comments. Please limit the comments to 3 minutes. Council will not take action at the same meeting. Do you have anybody? Okay, we'll go to scheduled appearances then. In order to be included in this portion of the agenda, you have to file appropriate paperwork with the city clerk no later than noon on Monday prior to the meeting. Monte Vista Tourism Advisory Council. Ryan?
Heather's not here either.
Well, we will go to B, special review use for DJ then, and if they show up, we'll go back to it. DJ, we get you in early, so maybe nobody will leave.
Maybe everybody will leave on me.
They left preemptively.
I mean, we even show up because of it.
Give me a try.
So in you guys' package, you guys had documentation for 435 Stallo. About a month ago, we went through and did a subdivision for, I guess it's maybe 2 months ago, maybe. For Mr. Martinez, so his wife, or Dylan Martinez, which is the son of Randy Martinez, and Dylan's wife came in and turned in an application in August. We did the public hearing and notification was done properly. We did a public hearing with Planning and Zoning Commission, and they approved it, or they recommended approval unanimously to place a modular home on that property. It's consistent with the neighborhood. Most of the houses around there are modulars already. And then, so I have a recommended motion there at the bottom, unless you just have questions. This one's a pretty simple one. It matches the neighborhood and it's just a requirement that we have to go through.
Oh, say I make a motion to approve the special review use for Martinez 453 Style Street, Monte Vista, Colorado 81144 G.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this or do the special review use for Martinez's for 453 Stallow Street in Monte Vista, Colorado. 81144. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Lorenz,
Yes.
Counselor Watson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Segola,
Aye.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the special review use for Martinez at 453 Stello in Monte Vista.
If Ryan shows up, we'll go back to that. As of now, we will move on to contracts, agreements and leases. Monte Vista Airport fixed based operator contract. You, Rob?
That is me tonight. Good evening, council. Gigi asked me to go ahead and present this to you tonight. If you'll let me deviate from reading the entire contract, I'll just kind of go over parts of it for you. Tonight is in front of you is the airport lease operating contract for the fixed based operator. This agreement made and entered into in between the city of Monte Vista, a municipal corporation, and Jed Ellithorpe, doing business as Alpine Aviation LLC, who wants to work as our operator, meaning he is the fixed base operator. He provides services out at the airport, not only for the pilots, but also for the city. He does light maintenance, such as making sure the lights all work out there, making sure the hangars and stuff are okay. He keeps track of all the tenants in the hangars and makes that information available to finance and to NITA so they can keep their records straight. He also runs our fuel system. He purchases the fuel and we get a surplus tax off of that. In exchange for the work that he does out at the airport, he is given 2 hangars to do as he chooses to the city-owned hangars. He can either rent those or do as he chooses. But other than that, he really doesn't receive any compensation whatsoever from the city. And just for the last few years that he's been doing it, he has lessened the burden on myself and my staff tremendously. He goes out there and he not only takes care of the lights, but he goes out and he sprays weeds when they have time. He goes out, I've seen him out there doing mowing. He's improved the terminal, he's painted it, he's brought in new furnishings, brought in a car. So when pilots do land, that there's an actual car that they can utilize to run into town and get food or whatever else they may need. So I would recommend that council approve this contract. It is a continuation of the contract that he's had in the last 3 years. There's also provision in here for 1 year, and there's a provision for annual renewals if he so chooses. And with that, I'll open it up for any discussion.
He's been doing a great job.
Yeah, Jed's been doing a fantastic job out there.
How long has he been doing it?
This is, I believe, will be his 4th year. Yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job out there. Really knowledgeable as part of the airport operations.
Okay, you need a motion on that?
Yes, please. I just need a motion to approve the contract for the airport lease operating contract.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the Monte Vista Airport fixed based operator contract.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Monte Vista Airport fixed based operator contract. Is there any discussion? Anita?
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Lorenz,
Abstain.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Abstain.
Thank you. Counselor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Segola,
Aye.
Mayor Becker,
Aye.
motion carries with 4 yeses, 1 abstain to approve the contract for the fixed base operator and appoint Jed Ellithorpe as that position.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Okay, the lease agreement with Rio Grande County for the McMillan Building located at Sky High Complex.
Good evening again. So you guys have some visuals as well. Sorry, Lauren, I didn't know you weren't gonna be here. So you'll see there's 2 maps there. The one that is the line drawing, you can see where the original lease was, the lease boundaries, and you can see that both parties have violated that lease boundary over the course of the years since it was originally drawn up in 1990. So you guys, as well as the county commissioners, wanted to address that and get it so that it was cleaned up. So the new one that has the shaded areas shows the lease as it will stand if you guys agree to it. Basically, the leased land will be 5 feet from the furthest extrusion from the building. So 5 feet from east, west, north, and south. And then in a regular rectangle. And during the conversation with the commissioners, we did offer to go get a survey at about $145 an hour to give us a survey language. And the county commissioners were not concerned about that because we had surveying language before and nobody knew what was it and what was out without going to see a surveyor. They'd rather see the plain language where it's 5 feet from the building. The building's there, it's not moving. So it's an easier place for reference when we talk in the future for any kind of changes. And if I say anything wrong, please by all means correct. So we decided not to get the survey languages because this is a much easier way for anybody who's reading it to understand it. And it would create a little bit less option for violating it. And then we also added access and easement agreements, whereas before it went all the way down to Sherman, which would have given them access to the public road. Instead, we're giving them an agreement and access and egress easement that would go along the Clearview extension and then along the right of way that exists between the hotel and the property, the McMillan building itself. Rob's wanting to keep about a 60-foot wide right of way there. So they'll have access both on Clearview and down that, as well as around on the east side of the building. Basically, the distance that is provided in that easement goes all the way to the current hard fence. So it goes all the way past the pig wash and the cattle pens to the hard fence as far as access and egress there. And in the lease agreement, there were a few things changed. We left the 50-year term in there. So it'll just be extended for another 50 years from now at $1, just like it was before. We did put in at Gene's insistence, we do have the option for the city or the county to terminate with notice. So before it was just the county had the option to terminate, now it's both. And then we also added paragraph 5, which is upkeep and appearance. There wasn't really anything in there that made them clean up. And for the most part, we've had no issues at all. But just in case now we have something that says, hey, you must keep it clean. You can't leave a bunch of hay and straw, and after fair's over, it has to get cleaned up and that kind of stuff. And it's already worked out well. We had one small thing that was stuck there and it was taken care of. So paragraph 7, we also changed, which is alterations. Before there was a paragraph about building the building because the building didn't exist yet. So obviously we didn't need that paragraph. However, based off of some changes that were made where they extended the arena, there was no like hard set way for them to make any adjustments. So this says that if they're going to make any changes to the exterior of the building, they have to come to council and get your approval. And if they're doing anything internal, then it just goes to the county commissioners because they actually do own the building. The property, we are possessing the property, but they own the building itself. We did add another piece of language inside the paragraph 10, which is lease assignment and subletting of premises. So this allows for them to continue to sublease it out for fair and those kinds of things, But it does provide some protections in case down the road they want to do a long-term lease to a company. They have to come see city council if it's anything longer than, I think we did agreed on a 30-day. So 30 or 60 days. So if they're gonna lease it for longer than 60 days, they have to come to you guys and say, hey, we're gonna lease it, and this is why. And work through approval with you guys for that. And then other than that, the language is all from the original 1990 lease. We made those changes that we felt were beneficial to both parties. And we made sure we kept in the spirit of they can do whatever they want with the building as far as use and things of that nature. It's just kind of cleaned it up and then made the map so that we're not both violating it at the same time. So, any questions? This was approved by their county attorney as well as they've all signed the actual lease already. The one thing I would ask is on the typed version, it has date, month, it has those languages in there. I'd like to go ahead and edit that and make it effective 1 November, if that's okay with you guys. So then I'll just go in and edit it. So instead of saying month, they'll say 1 November 2025 instead of having some weird blanks in there. That's all right.
Make a motion to approve the lease agreement with Rio Grande County for the McMullen Building located at the Skyhead Complex beginning November 1st. 2025.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the lease agreement with Rio Grande County for the McMullen Building located at the Sky Park Complex with the November 1st, 2025 date. Any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Lorenz,
Yes.
Counselor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Segola,
Aye.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the lease agreement with the Rio Grande County for the McMullen Building located at the Sky High Park Complex dated November 5th.
Thanks for being here too, Gene. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Contract for the Monte Vista Municipal Judge. Who's bringing that one in?
So, that's for you all to discuss and make that decision this evening. Once you make that decision, we will type up that contract and have you all sign that and make that offer to the judge of your choice.
Anybody have any discussion they want to share? Lauren, do you have anything you want to share on the judges?
Well, I don't know that we've had enough discussion amongst council. So while I certainly am interested in, I would like, personally would like to have more discussion amongst council. Before we decide on this, understand all the council members' points of view. So actually, I'd make a motion to table this to the November meeting.
For the first meeting?
First meeting in November.
Will everyone be here for the meeting? November 1st.
I can be here for it, but I shouldn't be here.
I will be here.
Okay. So we're gonna probably have to have that discussion before then. So
Sure. We can
Yeah,
do that.
I have a work session,
yeah.
so I'll have to get that scheduled at some point. You need it?
I second that motion.
So there's been a motion to table the contract for the Monte Vista Municipal Judge to the November 6th meeting. Is there any discussion?
And with no discussion on a table motion.
Unita?
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Lorenz,
Yes.
Counselor Watson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Segola,
Aye.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to table the judge contract till the November 6th. Council meeting.
Could we go ahead and find a time for a work session?
Yeah, Unita's looking right now, Lauren.
Do you all want Gigi here for that discussion or is it just for council?
I think we probably just do it for council.
Yeah, we can just.
Awesome.
So do you want to do it next week?
No,
I was gonna say, I think it's his schedule that just kind of dictates.
Lauren?
I'm gone all week. Right now I'm up in Colorado Springs, doctor's appointment first thing in the morning.
What about the 28th?
Monday, the 20th?
The 28th?
I'm sorry?
28th?
Tuesday, the 28th.
Tuesday, Tuesday, the 28th, Tuesday, that works.
I think so.
Jason,
works.
okay,
Well, no, Tuesday I'm busy.
what day works good for you?
Uh. For the next 2 weeks, well, is all of next week out, Lauren?
Yeah, I'm gone until, for me, I'm gone until Saturday, the 25th. I'll be back in town.
Would there be any way you might be able to attend via Zoom? No?
That'd be very difficult. I'm gonna be
Okay.
traveling almost every day. Be really hard.
Just checking.
But, if you want to do it next week without me, then
Monday, Tuesday,
I
Wednesday.
think you have to be there, Lauren. You're the one with the concerns.
Yeah, so I should be free any day, the 27, 22, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That next week I'm
You're
busy
all,
every day.
what if we did it, like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th before the council meeting?
That Tuesday would work.
I can squeeze it in whenever.
Tuesday, the 4th work for you, Lauren?
uh, yep, it will.
Does
Okay,
that work, everybody?
Sounds good.
Tuesday, November 4th.
Election day.
Yeah. There you go. 6, 5, what time? 5:30?
Any time that day works for me.
Okay. November 4th. 5:30. Work session.
Do you want?
That's on election day. That's not gonna be a problem, is it? Just for,
Shouldn't be.
just about me at all, just as long as it's not a problem for anybody else.
No, it's more of a discussion between council, so. Okay,
Just somebody to let us in the door.
What?
Just somebody to let us in.
Maybe.
Guess we're having them out front.
Yeah, that's what
I have a badge to get in the door.
We'll set chairs up in the lawn.
No, just huddle around the flagpole.
I think I better,
Yeah.
better make sure it works before I volunteer. Okay.
Boy, the schedule's slimming down pretty quick. It's like, this is gonna be a short meeting.
Wish you didn't just say that. We haven't got the staff reports yet. Durham looks like he's got something on his mind.
Well, we are gonna go to staff proposals now.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, it was just like, I just shot myself. All right.
And we will go with recreation. Durbin.
They're bad. The man.
Good evening, everyone. So recreation right now is kind of winding down in one way and picking up in another. Football's starting to end. It ends on Saturday, so we'll be going to Alamosa, playing Alamosa, and then football's over. And we've already started girls basketball. Been practicing that for like a week. Got 3 teams for that, so pretty big teams in that, and probably would have had bigger and more teams. But this time we had to be pretty strict with registration and cut registration off when we said we we're going to cut registration off. And that, so it cut down on some. Last month we held the Colorado All-American Girl for Southern Colorado competition out at Sky High, and it's these her size and that All-Americans or just a beauty contest and that. So it was actually pretty cool and that. And no, I wasn't a member in the competition there. And so, I know you were looking at me like, Irvin, were you in the competition? Well, I wasn't. So, now you also have a flyer there, that's a 3-on-3 flyer. That's between, for recreation, and we're coordinating that with Sky High. It's an event we're gonna hold on November 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. out at Sky High. We're trying to make it as low cost as possible. We've gotten lots of donations for that event. Kids Connection is gonna be doing the concessions for that. And, we're having a cornhole competition. That's gonna go from 1 to 3, and we're gonna do up another flyer. We're gonna have a 3-on-3 basketball competition. Gonna go from 3 to 5. We have a guy who's gonna come out and do a mechanical bull riding. So if anyone wants to come out and do that, you're more than welcome to. We also have kids events or kids activities. We have a jump house, we have free popcorn, free snow cones. What else? We have face painting. And I think that's it for the kids event. So we're trying to do something for the community, get the entire community involved in this. So we've been advertising it everywhere, putting it out there. Hopefully we get lots of folks to turn out for it. We put it out the word, as well as flyers at all of our parents meetings and that, and we're having over 60-70 parents at each event that we had. So hopefully that's a success in that, and we have lots of folks for that. Anyone that and what we're doing is we're getting sponsors for the cornhole competition. For every cornhole that we set up, we have 10 courts for that. And we have 8 sponsors right now. We're hoping to get 10 for that. And it's $150 to sponsor a cornhole set, and we're giving that back in prizes and then paying for the bull riding and all of our events that we're having for that. So right now it looks really good. We just want to get folks out there and that. So that's it for recreation. Any questions?
That's on a Saturday, right?
Yes,
Saturday.
correct. So, thank you.
Thanks, Irvin. Kids Connection.
I don't think you did.
You wanna do that one, DJ?
I don't do much for that. Thanks, Tom.
No, I'd really like to not do that one.
Planning.
We leave now?
No.
I don't have a whole lot for this evening. It was out yesterday with the regional band competition for one of us high school. They took third, which is, they haven't taken third in like a decade. They were really upset. But we have room for improvement. They still go to state in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun for them. So I spent a lovely day in Pueblo in the wind and sun, and now I'm burned and dry. But since we spoke earlier this week with the nuisance code, I have went through and integrated all of the IPMC chapter 5, and I'm still working through some of the other concerns that I have. So hopefully I'll have an email off to city attorney and some others the next day or so to get you guys that completed in a timely fashion like you guys asked. Other than that, it's not it was, I guess, readily apparent. We put some new sidewalk in. That was a grant from CDOT that we got. So that was RMS is doing work for us, but it's the new sidewalk going from Dairy Queen to O'Reilly's. That should be done this week, which is awesome. Just to check one more grant off the block.
Are they working on that now?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just go through town like oblivious and just miss it entirely?
Pretty much, because they got cones.
Let's see, Miss.
Today, I didn't see that all.
I'm concerned now.
I still need to drive it.
Yeah, because they started yesterday.
Wow.
Well, don't get any cones on the way home.
I'll just run into my, right there we are.
I don't know who it was.
So working through all of that stuff, so I'll hopefully have that to you guys, and then the land use code will be going in its rough draft form to Planning and Zoning Commission on the 30th of this month. So it'll be going to them for them to go through the final rough draft. My intent with that is to get the final rough draft reviewed by them in October, and then we're having a work session the second week of November, and we'll take and go over whatever concerns they had and whatever adjustments we need to make. And then we're shooting for a potential open house in early December for the public to review it, which I don't imagine I'll have a whole lot of participation. but I know at least a few individuals that will show up. So we'll have that, which will hopefully cut down on some of the more robust questions that will come up at the public hearing. And I'm looking to try to get that public hearing through planning and zoning probably in January or so, and then in front of you guys for first review in or in February. So kind of getting that to its conclusion. So I'll be finishing that up this next week with them, and then I'm going to head to the Economic Development Conference for Colorado, which is in Pueblo. I'll be there for 4 days, going in GG stead, and that will be hopefully very productive. Every time we go, we find more ways that we can bring commerce and better utilize the tools that we have. So hopefully we can continue to do that and bring back some good stuff from that conference. So unless you guys have questions, that's all the last week or so is done for me.
I know you've been busy.
Besides all the stuff that we talked about.
That's other stuff. Thank you guys.
City attorney.
And it's not with the icing hot roll today, so. With Alpo and Aaron Rodgers, so it's like all the old folks, it's kind of a presidential debate. So we want to finish this up so we can watch NFL.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm gonna try to be fairly short and brief. First of all, we've got community court coming up, on, next Wednesday. We've got 70 cases on the docket. It's growing. So not that they're that much different than the types of cases we've had in the past, but, they are significant. They're growing, and whoever the judge is going to have his work cut out for her work cut out for him. I was at the city attorney's conference this past weekend in Steamboat, and they have had a lot of good information put out there, and quite a bit of it went toward land use and nuisances and that type of thing. So learned some pretty good stuff there. The MTC is being printed as we speak. I was hoping that we'd be able to distribute the copies tonight. The PD wanted a couple of changes in there, and that caused the printing to be kind of offset the way they're having to print it. So they're having to, my staff is doing the printing, frankly, of the whole thing, and they're working hard at it. So, but it's, I think the last publication, Anita, was on the 10th of September. So that means it's law now, 30 days after final publication. So that has become law. We've got all the provisions in there about the point count and everything else. I would mention that at the end, there's a couple of little tweakings that we're going to be doing on the, well, we're working those through on the speeding amounts on the fines on 2 of them. The PD, and I've talked to Tyler about this, they need to do their inventory of all the traffic control signs we've got in town, so that those can be covered. So we're talking about everything from the stoplights down to the turn lanes and all of this. Putting those in the back of the MPC. And if they do that, it'll be easy to, from there on, to track it, I think, when you make changes. So basically that project is done. You have a copy of the draft that I put out on the nuisances. And I know you're taking a look at that and working that through. Victor, I think you're the only one who wasn't there the other day at the lucky there.
Thank you.
I got the draft there on this. It's just, and so doing some final tweaking on that to make sure it's all consistent and so forth. And I would say that I think you need a nuisance code that's distinct from any kind of property maintenance code. These two have very different orientations. They have different purposes. The nuisance code is intended to address nuisances. Property maintenance is intended to address standards that you have to abide by in the city for property maintenance. And, you know, whether that is going to be acceptable to folks and so forth is the city council's call. But these are two very different codes, and I would not want to see these two combined, even though there are places in the code that become somewhat similar, such as dangerous buildings and so forth. But the police, this is essentially a police function with the nuisance code. And it's going to be in the lap of the code enforcement officer, the city attorney, and the city judge. And they're going to be the ones that are going to have to enforce this code. Some things seem to be a bit vague in the property maintenance code because it talks about the community service officer, and that to me almost sounds like somebody from social services or something like that. So I think how you designate somebody has some meaning to it. The code enforcement officer, I think everybody recognizes what that means, but I'm not sure about the community service officer and so forth. But in the property maintenance code, it says the community service officer shall be appointed by the chief of police of the city of Monte Vista. So I'm not sure how exactly that works. And then it uses terminology of code official and synonymous with the community service officer. So I think there's some interesting language there that you got to consider. I also noticed that I think that actually the nuisance code is a little more specific in what the remedies are, because if you look at the property maintenance code, it says that if entry is refused, the code official shall have recourse to the remedies provided by law to secure entry. Well, what are those? And that's what we're trying to define in the nuisance code. So anyhow, in looking at those, I would just advise the council that I think we got two different. Actually, the nuisance code probably should not be called a code, because it's actually just a remake of the same nuisance ordinance that we've got already, but expanded out. So it's really a repeal of the Chapter 5 and a reenactment of Chapter 5. So you don't have to go through a lot of the machinations you have to for adopting an international code by reference. And I think we're able to get that through without too much expense. So I would welcome any comments that the council would have or questions about the provisions that we've drafted in of the nuisance code. We've tried to make that as simple as possible under the circumstances, and the circumstances are that you've got a lot of different ways that you can go depending on what the nuisance is all about. It might just be trash and rubbish and things like that, but then it might be all the way to a drug house too. So that's why you have to look at different alternatives and combining some of those alternatives when you're trying to enforce it. So I'll be brief, so I'm going to be brief for you. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gene. Okay, we'll go on to council committee, city commission, and council report. Lauren,
Nothing tonight.
Brad? Jason? Victor?
I'm good.
Nothing today? Well. I really don't have much either. We've got new business in town, so be sure and go look it up. Outside of that, we will adjourn this meeting until November 6th at 6 p.m. here at council chambers.